What's up? My name's Adam, and I'm an artist out of northern Wisconsin. A few weeks ago, CNC Tattoo Supplies on Instagram messaged me and sent me a tattoo stencil printer. It's actually behind me right now. It is right here. Let me grab it. It's right here. All right, now before I open this and we take a look at it together, I want to explain a few things to you guys. CNC Tattoo Supplies is not paying me to make this video. In fact, they didn't even tell me that I have to say good things or bad things. They don't really care. They want my honest opinion on this printer, and I'm gonna give it to you. Now, you might have clicked on this video because you're wondering if this tattoo stencil printer can replace your inkjet printer or your thermofax printer or even this Amazon $100 thermal printer that everyone has. And we're going to talk about all that at the end of this video. But first, we're going to unbox this together, and then we're going to go over all the features and how to use the tattoo stencil printer. All right, so first off, let's take a look at the box. So we see here, it just says tattoo printer. This is actually a very nice box, and it's very on there, nice and snug. But first, we got some information here. It's this Stigma tattoo printer, and then model number, paper width is just standard like paper. You could use any of your standard thermal fax paper with it. The input, the printing method is thermal, so it's going to be like a thermal printer. The interface is Bluetooth and USB, and then it actually has a battery. It has a 2,500 milliamp battery. This is actually a wireless tattoo stencil printer. All right, so opening up the box, just pulling it off, we're gonna see all this stuff might be in the wrong spot, guys. I tried my best to put it back together how I got it. I will throw up some B-roll footage of the first time of me opening up this so you guys can see it all in its true form of what you would get it as, but some of this stuff might be in the wrong spot because I've already opened it before. All right, guys, so the first thing you're gonna see is the user guide right on the top, and we'll go through that real quick, and you guys can pause it and take a look at it. Otherwise, we're just gonna go over it all, but it's a nice little pamphlet that tells you how to use it all that. You can even, as you guys see here, it's Bluetooth, so you guys could actually get an app on your phone. A link will be down in the description. You guys could actually use the app for a bunch of different things, but it is nice to use with this printer. Like I said, link for that will be down in the description, and we will go over all the stuff in this. Otherwise, you can pause it and take a look. All right, and then the next thing you get is your wall port charger. They shipped this to me from another country, so you will probably get a different port than I got. I'm actually in the US, so they sent me the wrong outlet port, but I'm sure if you're in the US, they will send you the right one. But you know, everyone has wall dongle things, so I just used a different one, but this is the one it came with. And then, you know, it's USB, which is fine, to Type-C, which is perfect, so you have quick charging on your device. And then the last thing in the box is the printer itself, and it comes in this nice sleeve, so it's not getting all scratched during shipping or anything. And you pull it out, and voila! It's small. This is it. This is literally the printer right here. So first off, taking a look at the body of the printer and what it looks like. So we're going to see, first off, there's a Stigma logo, and then you'll also notice I got some scratches on this thing. The reason why I got scratches on this thing is because it is very portable. I've been actually carrying this from the studio to home to film this and going all over the place with it because it is wireless. This printer is actually very, very cool. I did not know that we had the technology nowadays in thermal printers to where they could be wireless. You would think that with how much times you need to print or whatever, that you would just drain the battery on this thing. But this thing has literally lasted me an entire week. And I'll tell you guys right now, hands down, if you're going to like a tattoo convention or something where you need to have something small in your luggage bag and wireless, this tattoo stencil printer might be for you. All right, so taking a look at this further, you'll also see that you got the USB Type-C right there. You could plug this in. You could have it as a stationary printer also on your countertop. All right, and then looking more at it, you'll notice the two buttons on the front. This is your power on button. You just hold this on to power it on, and then right here is your feed button. If you have paper in here that's not aligned properly, if you accidentally put it in sideways or something and you need to get it out, you just hold this button and it will feed the paper out so you can re-put it in. Otherwise, you could just open up the side door right here, which will open up the hatch where you can open up and you can feed your paper through the back and through the front. Line it up right with the front line here so you know it's right. And then you close it down, and then you go on your app on your phone and you could print it. I made it sound complicated, guys, but it's actually probably the simplest stencil printer I've ever used. It is way more simple than my backup printer. This one, Old Faithful, I literally put Old Faithful on it because anytime our other one breaks, anytime our inkjet one breaks, there's always this one. And this one works great. The only problem with it is that it's so complicated that I had to write instructions down on the front because I always forget how to use it. And then when you have to go use it and it's like an emergency and you don't want to Google it and watch videos, you just want to be able to use it. So I literally had to write the instructions on how to use it on the front. You will not have that problem at all with this one. When you guys receive the printer, on the inside of it, you guys will actually get a whole bunch of stencil paper. I actually went through all that stencil paper already. I used it all up. But on the front of it will be a test print that the company did with your printer. So they, you know, they used that stencil paper, put it through your printer, got this to make sure that the printer works, and then they shipped it. So that's nice to know that the company actually double checked to make sure it works. I actually don't have any stencil printer paper on me, so I got to run to the tattoo studio real quick, and then I'll be back with some stencil paper. All right, guys, I'm back. Oh, dropping it. All right, so this is all ripped and whatever because we're monsters at the tattoo studio, but I just grabbed, you know, the standard Spirit classic thermal stencil paper. You can just get this off Amazon, you know, Amazon Prime, $20. You just get it. This is what the stencil printer will take. There's many different brands of this type of thermal paper, and I'm sure they will all work. CNC Tattoo Supplies probably also has some thermal paper on their website you guys could probably get when you buy the printer. All right, now I want to show you guys how easy it is to print with this printer. So like I said, hold the button and turn it on. It's going to beep. It's going to turn on. It's going to turn blue. Some other lights might blink and stuff. That's normal. As you guys heard there, that beeping sound, that was actually an error. That second one, that first one is the beep to turn it on. That second one was an error because this lid on it wasn't fully closed, so it thinks that there was paper in it that was in wrong. That is something I wish that they did a little differently. I just don't like the loud beeping sound, like when I'm trying to put stencil paper in and it beeps. I wish that it just didn't beep because it sounded kind of loud into this microphone here. It's not that loud. I just wish that there was a way to turn off that beeping sound. I'm an old man. Turn down the beeping sound, please. All right, once your stencil printer is open, what you're gonna wanna do is just set it down because what we're gonna need to do is get some thermal paper. So just pull some out, whip it out. Here it is, the Spirit thermal stencil paper. You're gonna have an extra piece in it right here. This just protects the paper from getting messed up. So you're gonna wanna take that. This is literally just a piece of scrap paper. You do not wanna put this through the printer. You're just gonna wanna crinkle that up and then throw it at a coworker. All right, let's see if I can put the paper in without setting this printer down. So the way we're gonna do it is we're gonna pop the top like I just did there by pressing the button on the side. You're gonna open up the top. You gotta be careful of putting your fingers in here because if you put your fingers in here too much, you're gonna get an error. And you'll know it's an error because it'll beep like that. So just keep it open and then you're gonna take your stencil paper and you're gonna want it yellow side up. And then we're gonna try to do this without setting it down. Just take your stencil paper, you'll feed it through the back slot right there. It'll come out the front top. And then you wanna close it down on the paper and you wanna make sure that your paper is pretty even with the lid and sticking out just a little bit, just like that. All right, and then I just set the printer right here because what we're gonna have to do to print anything with it is that we actually have to use an app. And the app is called, right here, it's called Tattoo Printer, and it's a free app and you get it on Android and iOS. I actually like the fact that it's an app because then you don't need to use like another printer. You don't need like a standard printer paper or anything to use this like you would have to do with like a Thermofax or anything. You can literally just go right off the app and click on the image you want and then click print. And because it's a Bluetooth printer, I don't know if there's any other apps. I didn't try it with Procreate or any of the other apps. I just wanted to use the Tattoo Printer app, the one that they suggested for me to use. I just noticed that they updated this app since I used it yesterday, which is kind of cool because it's an app. They can always update the software with updates or whatever. So for some reason, my camera cannot pick up the footage of my iPad very well, so I actually had to film some B-roll. So that's what you guys are seeing right now. This isn't me currently speaking. This is Adam from actually the past to film this video. But here I am using the app. It's very, very simple. You literally just go to the photo album in the app, and then you pick the stencil that you would like. You click it, and then you can print it right there. The nice thing also about using the app is that the app has a whole bunch of different settings on it where you can actually like crop the image. You can can do a sketch filter on the app, so it'll actually stencil your tattoo for you. You can do a brightening mode, a mirror mode. You can share it with people. You can change the density. You can turn it from light, moderate, normal to strong for the density, which means that it'll make the image darker. There's a lot of things you can do with this app, and you can actually get the app right now. You don't even need the printer. You could get the app right now and start using it with your tattoos so you get used to it and see how you like it. All right, so this app has so many features, guys. It actually has some pre-done tattoos also on it, and I'm just gonna print one of those off real quick. I know I just said about the features, but here they are. Cropping, sketch mode, mirroring, brightness. There's a whole bunch of things you guys could do with this app. It's actually really cool. All right, so we're gonna take that and we're gonna click print, printing, and it's connecting to the printer. There it goes. That's how easy it is, guys. Any day now. All right, so the print's done. The way you guys gotta get it out of the printer is you just gotta open the latch on top. We're throwing stuff over here. All right, and then there is your stencil. So I didn't even design this. This actually just came with it. Woo! Look at that. So obviously you would use your stencil solution and you would just put that right on the skin. This is actually a pretty good design. Whoever designed this at CNC Tattoos, you guys did a good job. That's actually a really nice tattoo design. And I know I just printed off a bunch of dark stuff, but here I also printed off this. This is like a portrait, so you could also do like any of the fine line and detail stuff. This printer can do it very well. All right, so who is this printer for? Now, my honest opinion is that this could be your #1 printer in your tattoo studio. And if not your #1 printer, then at least your backup printer in your studio. What do I like with this printer over using the standard traditional Thermofax printer? A normal thermal printer, what you would need to do is have a second printer, and on that second printer would have normal ink in it, where you would have to print your design, and then you would have to put it in between the sheets of your thermal paper before you put it in there. And that's very inconvenient. That causes you to have a second printer that can break, and then you got to pay for ink for that printer, and you got to have paper, and that's very inconvenient if you're going to a tattoo convention when all you needed to do was just have that. Those standard thermal printers also cost maybe 4 times, 5 times more than this printer. And then what do I like more about this printer over the standard inkjet printers that everyone's using now today? Well, the standard inkjet printer is literally a normal printer where you're supposed to have normal paper in it with normal ink. The problem is that we tattoo artists have converted it, and we've put a special type of paper in it, which is way thicker than the Spirit thermal paper. So it's way thicker, and it's weird. It's hard to put on the skin and everything. It's not superior compared to the classic thermal paper. And then the ink that goes inside that printer is a special type of ink that costs about $100 just to fill it. And because it's a stencil ink, it is made to dry over time. So if you just leave it in your printer over time, what will happen is that that ink will dry inside your printer, and you'll either have to flush out your printer, which is not cheap and not easy to do, or you got to just scrap the printer and buy a new one, which I've had to do multiple times already. I normally scrap a printer about once per year at least. Also, because you're using a paper that printer is not designed to use, those printers jam literally every single day. Every single day those printers jam. And then whenever my inkjet printer for some reason either dries up with ink or it jams, what I have to do is I have to bust out this one. And this one is just very difficult, as I said in the beginning of the video. It's very difficult. This one has many of issues. This one's solid. It doesn't jam or anything. But I mean, these options here get so confusing, and you just don't know which way to put the paper in, that it's like a big waste of time compared to an inkjet printer when it works properly. So the way to solve the issues, guys, with all those 3 types of printers is to just get this one, because this one is very, very simple. I've used it for a month so far, and I've had no issues with it. The only thing I don't like about it is the loud beeping sound, but I mean, you could get over that pretty quickly, or maybe you could find a way to disable it. I'm not telling you guys to open this up or find a way to open it, even though there's screws right here, and to find the speaker in it and disable the speaker. I'm not telling you guys to do that, but you can. But don't do it. Trying to wink. But for real, guys, make sure you guys go and pick yourself up one of these. It is very, very awesome. There will be a link down in the description, and then there will also be a link in the description to get the app that goes along with this. Make sure you guys are subscribing, and make sure you guys click the like button on this video so your boy could get on top. I'll answer any of the questions down below in the comments. As always, guys, have a good day. Peace out.